Okay, let's take your suggestions. I have this one at OCRA extended, and I actually put in 125% in the character palette just to get on the width of the letter. And if the character palette isn't showing, it's under Window, Type, and Character. And if it's not showing all the way, just double click the tab, and you can see you can double click it to make the top half show, redouble click it, and the bottom half will show. This one was the Pristina, but I'm going to use the one that you wanted in the beginning. So now I kind of did my own thing. Following your guides over here, I'm in the direct select tool. So I'm in that one on the upper right. Okay, that's the direct select, and I'm going to hold the space bar to move over. So I kind of got this in using the nature of the letter. I kind of did my own design, and of course this is your design, so I'm just showing you balance, and I'm showing you a couple of things. Okay, and I also have this as a black shape. See how I'm selecting it on top of a white bigger S, so that it has this nice outline to it. But I've also gotten rid of it so that the white, meaning I got rid of the white, so that that is just a separation in case you want to put the S and the M. And I did a little funny thing to the bottom here where it kind of has a nice stepping feel, almost gives it a human feel almost, okay? And I put it against the colored background so you could see what it would look like, and I changed the color of the M so it wasn't black, so the two separated. But what I want to do is do the whole thing for you again. Okay, so I'm going to marquee these right here and just delete them, and then I'm going to pick this one up and I'm going to delete it because I want to start over. Okay, so what I did was I clicked on the S and M here, and now the character palette is on OCRA extended at 130 points and 125 on the horizontal width. Now all I have to do, whoops, I just clicked away from it. Okay, you have to click that, Brian. Now I can go over here and hit the T key, click, and whoops, that's on 12 points. I don't know why that happened. Let's go click this one again. There, 130 points. Now I can click away. For some reason it's not staying on that one. So I'm going to, maybe I have to be in the text tool. Let me click the text tool inside. Now I'm going to click away. Oh, it's going to Mirrored Pro. No big deal. I'm going to make sure it's on OCR extended. Well, there's another way I can do this. It's not a big deal. I'm going to copy the S, hit Control C. Okay, click down here, just click and hit Control V. Okay, now I can hold the Control key and click away and move this one out of the way. Now I can drag across the M and hit Control C. Now I can click somewhere else away from the S, just click and hit Control V. Now I have them both. Now I'm going to put them kind of close over here so we can have everything on the screen, and I'm going to now begin the process. Okay, so what I did was I recolored this one a bit so that I could, and let me just throw a gray into it. So I can take this one over top. Now look at the layer palette. I want to put the S on top of it. And then I want to align the circle a little bit deeper right there, and even deeper, so that this triangle right here, okay, right there, so this triangle right here, I'm going down a little farther. Okay, cool. Shows is what I'm trying to get at, because you don't want a little tiny piece, it would look funny. Okay, so you really want to put this one down a little bit, even more like this. Okay, now what we do with this? Well, we have to do a few things. First, we have to click the circles in the layer palette. So you have your layer palette like this, right? I need to take, the M needs to be below this rectangle I'm going to use later. I'll just turn it off. So I have an S, which isn't an S anymore, and I have an M, which isn't an M anymore. Right now it is, because it's a font. With this line underneath, that means it's a font. But what we're going to do is, and I don't want to do what I'm about to do without making a copy of this, just so I don't screw it up. So how do you make a copy? Well, you hit the A key, hold Control Alt, and just drag away. Now let's go back to this one. Now if I mess up, I can just go back to these, right? Okay, cool. So I'm going to click the M and shift click this one and go up to type and create outlines. I'll try to get this done pretty fast, okay? Now over here I have to explain to you what has happened. They turned into groups. See these two groups? Here's your S group, here's your M group. I need to take them away from being a group because I want to work with them together. So I'm going to take this compound path right there, and I'll explain to you in a second what a compound path is. I'm going to move it above the group, and the group disappears. I'm going to take the M and move it above the M group and put it right there, and it disappears. Okay, meaning the group disappears. So now I have them exactly where I want. But what's a compound path? You have to understand compound paths before we begin anymore. Just so I'm going to type in an O, okay? And I'm going to just make it huge, like 130 points. And I'll make it be bold. This is just a different typeface, but it doesn't matter. Okay, now I want to recolor it just so you can see something. So I'm going to take this. Now, I am going to take this O, which is over here, look at it right over there, and I'm going to go to Type, Create Outlines. Now, it has turned into a group, right? So I'm going to move it out of the group, and it's a compound path. What is a compound path? A compound path is a smaller shape. Now, what do I mean? I'm going to take the Direct Select tool. It's the selection tool over to the right. And I'm going to be and hold the Alt key and just click on the inside shape. Now I want to let go of everything and move it away so you can see that this is actually a filled shape. But it's called a subtract shape when it's a compound path. Now, a little shape on top of a big shape that has turned into a compound path means, and watch this, that, let me just change the color on this, and it'll only take me a second. I just want to make sure you understand. I'm going to put that below the compound path. It's a hole. So this inside shape that I just clicked on, it's a real shape. You can't have nothing in a computer program. You have to have something. So they decided to make the inside shape of a compound path a subtract shape. The outer one is an add shape. Now I can select both of them like this and remove the compound path, which is what I wanted to show you. Now, whoops, I didn't do that, did I? Compound path release. Now, look at how I can take the inside shape, just recolor it, just something even like that, okay? Now, what is a compound path? Well, we have an inside shape, could be any shape you want, just draw it and put it on top. Make a bigger outer shape. So far, they're both add shapes, but when I go into compound path and I go over here and make, it becomes a negative shape. Then you can see through it. Now that's the only thing I wanted you to understand. Okay, now why did I want you to understand that? Because the S and the M don't have bigger or smaller shapes. They're just single shapes. There's no inside shape. So I can easily remove the compound path and make them into simple paths. See this? Simple path, simple path. Now let's do the thing that I did in the design stage, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the S. So I'm taking the direct selecting tool and I'm clicking on it. Now to get that neat hole that you have that you put here, meaning that stroke, I don't want to just add a stroke to this. Watch what adding a stroke to this does. If I go to here and add a stroke of white and I make it bigger, it's going to remove the fill, and that doesn't look very good, right? So I'm going to take away the stroke. This is how you do it. So we go to something that Illustrator has, which is called Object, Path, Offset Path. Now, it has a preview. If I want the offset to go to the outside, which is what I did right there, okay, I put in a positive number. So it's 0.02. It comes in defaulted to 0.1 of an inch. Now look what that looks like. It looks way too big, right? Of course. So I'm going to click it and just make this say 0.2. And then I'm going to click preview and say, oh, that looks good. That's exactly what I want. I could go to 0.3, but 0.2 is fine, I think, anyway. Now look what it made. It made a bigger shape. Now, if I take that bigger shape and color it white, then I will have the shape I want. Now that's basically almost done. Now what I want to do is to customize this. Okay, so I'm going to do a couple of things. I'm going to lock up these two S shapes. This one, right? Look at, I'm locking it up and I'm locking it up. Now I can click on the M and I can lower these bottoms. So look, I'm going to take and hit Control R. And I'm going to click up there and hit, whoops, I didn't do that. Control R. Now I'm going to drag a guide down to the bottom so I can see the guide, and it's just right at the bottom, and I'm going to hit Control semicolon to show my guides. Control semicolon. Now what I thought we could do, since these are paths, look, I can marquee these 4 points on the bottom, click on one of them, hold the Shift key and move this down. Then I can go over here and marquee those 4 points and just move them down a little bit more like this. Now it kind of gives that a stepping stone feel, and that's the customization that you can't get with a font. You have to convert it to an outline path. Do you follow what I'm saying? So I'm going to hit Control S to save the file. Now we're done, except what happens if you want to put it over a colored background? So let me throw that guide away. Now let me take this one, whoops, let me take this one that we finished. So I'm hitting the A key for the direct select tool. I'm going to make sure I unlock the S's so I can click. You can either do it by clicking the circle over here, holding the Shift key and click and click. Okay. Now, oh, I'm sorry, that was the wrong M. That was the wrong M. I have to click this one, and this one. There. Or I could have just gone with the direct select tool and marqueed it. Hold Control Alt and drag another one down, Brian. Okay, but that doesn't look very good because now the white space has turned into a white space, and that's not very good. So I wanted to show you something that is really cool. It's in Pathfinder. Now I want you to go to Window, down to Pathfinder, so you have it on your screen. Now I want you to just use two of them. We're going to divide out this whole letter shape. So make sure if you have a colored thing, it's locked. See how my rectangle is locked here? See how that's locked right there? Okay. Now, I'm still selected on these letters because I didn't click that circle for the rectangle. It just clicked over to where the layer is. But I'm going to divide this. So I clicked the divide command. Now watch how cool this is. I can go in and now I can click on this and hit one delete. I can click another delete. I can go over here and click another delete. I see I have a little fix up to do right over here. I made a little boo-boo right there and I have to fix that. So I will in a few minutes. I didn't get that the first time I did this, but that's okay because it's just okay. So let's go down and let's take that away, and now let's take this one away. Now look how neat that looks. Look how cool that looks. And of course I can change the color on this just to see what it would look like in different colors, but let me just pop in, I have no idea what color I want. Nice bold red. That looks horrible. So let's go to this. Okay, equally horrible. So I don't know. So we'll just leave it alone, but I just wanted to just give you, let me just go to a soft yellow. Okay, that looks pretty good. So you can see how the spaces that I cut out now actually work. I do have a boo-boo right there that I have to clean up. So if I go into this group that I made right there, I can actually now do a couple things. So what I need to do is, oh, you know what? I can't play with this. I have to lock the rectangle up. Now I can go in and click on the outer edge of this, and you can see where my problem is right there. Okay, but I want to do something before I do anything. Look at, I want to join the S back together. See how it's cut into several pieces, which is why I wanted to go into this group right here. Do you see all the black shapes? I'm going to click each black shape with the Shift key. I'm going to click the first one, then hold the Shift key and click all the black shapes. Now that I have them all selected, you see above the divide command there's a unite command. Well, I'm going to click it, and now I've united the whole thing together as one shape. Now I can go in. Oh, that actually fixed it all by itself. Wasn't that cool? I don't have to do anything. Look how beautiful that is. I mean, that is exquisite. Now, if I turn off the rectangle, it looks just like the one that's on top. But that is a white shape, and I am going to recommend that you have one that is a white shape. Okay, so you have the S with a bigger S on top of an M. However you want to color it or whatever. But I also would like you to watch this a couple of times so you can put it over a background and have that white turn into negative space. So I just wanted you to see how to do a little bit of customization, and I hope you liked this movie. Let me know if you did and if you want me to do anything else. Thank you.